Well, they say it always gets worse before it gets better, and in most cases it usually does. But when you're talking about the rising cost of gas, well, I think we can all pretty much agree it's a pretty pointless statement. But then again, believe it or not, it could be much worse, especially when you consider filling up and maintaining the 1,500 vehicles and other specialized equipment that this city is responsible for in helping to deliver the highest quality services to you, the citizens. But Newport News Vehicle Services, located in the Operations Center in the Oyster Point section of Newport News, is well on their way to seeking out an innovative alternative option for a much more sustainable future.
Well, here at Vehicle Services, we're responsible for 1,500 fleet assets, which go out and provide service through the various city departments every day. We're responsible for maintaining those vehicles, keeping them up and running. We do it all from wheel loaders, fire trucks, ambulances, police cars, you name it. Our job here is to mainly minimize the cost of running that fleet, and a large part of it is fuel. Gasoline, we burn about 640,000 gallons of gasoline a year. So if you do the math times $3, it's almost $2 million worth of gasoline every year. It's very expensive, and anything we can do to reduce that is a benefit to the taxpayer, and that's what we're after. We've always been looking for alternative options anywhere we can go. We're constantly examining our business model, looking to improve the way we do things, and certainly if there's a better fuel source out there that we can go with, we're interested in pursuing that. Right now with propane, we had a grant opportunity come through, and even with grant dollars, we want to make sure that there's an economic benefit, and in this case there is. It's pretty clear. It's a simple system to install, set up, and get running, and it's using today's technology just with a different fuel source. So we're not reinventing the wheel, we're just burning something else instead of gasoline. So it worked well when we examined it, and it's certainly working well for us now. We're projected to save about $22,000 annually, and over the life of the vehicle, we expect to extend the engine life maybe 1 or 2 years as a result of a cleaner burning fuel. That benefits us in a number of ways. The asset cost is a big expense. That's the #1 fleet expense is depreciation. You buy a vehicle, the day you drive it off the lot, it's worth less, but it has a value. By purchasing an additional technological component that happens to be $5,800 in the case of this grant, we want to make sure that we can get the life we need to recoup that investment. And while we're operating it, it turns out each year we operate the vehicle, the net difference in lost value and fuel saved is positive in propane. And in the case of the Propane system that are on the 22 vehicles we've converted, we expect to save about $1,000 per year net on that system.
I'm very impressed with this propane technology. On the propane, I can usually drive 2 shifts, I would say, and that's being my car running on an average shift. The car's running pretty much the whole 8-hour shift. It's just like going to a regular gas pump and pumping gas. With all the vehicles that the city has, the more propane vehicles we have, I think the better off the city will be. There's no emissions, clean air, and the car runs better.
Okay, after the operator puts fuel in this vehicle, it goes through a vapor barrier, which any gases would escape through the bottom of the vehicle. And what you got back here is 2 15-gallon propane tanks that have been tested to withstand crashes or anything that might puncture them. They're pretty much puncture proof. Okay, we've seen what's under the trunk, now we'll look under the hood. The propane coming from the back is heated by the heater hoses. When the vehicle gets to operating temperature, it automatically switches over to propane, and that's controlled by this computer that's attached to the vehicle's computer. It goes through these external injectors right here that are tapped into the intake, and the car is running on propane. Once again, until the tank gets down to 20%. Once it gets to 20%, it automatically switches over back to gas, where the injectors on the car are internal. They're in the engine, and you run on gas until you get fuel. As you can see how clean the system is, at the end of the life cycle of this vehicle, this system can be taken off and transferred to another vehicle. Yeah, pretty much everything kind of fell into place for us. We were able to get our cars upfitted. We were able to have a supplier with Phillips Energy here that was basically came in one day, put the infrastructure in. It actually took us longer to get the electrical done than the infrastructure. and everything just fell into place. We were able to get our cars upfitted quick. We were able to train our officers and train our people to use the propane system on the field system here, and they loved it. And we're everybody that has propane cars excited about it and can't believe the performance and the mileage they're getting with the extra propane tank on there.
It is exciting to be a part of something new and being a part of change. A lot of city folks are active in trying to look at the ways they do things to come up with a better alternative. Sometimes people might think we're not, but my favorite thing is when somebody says that's the way we've always done it, because there's a darn good chance we can do it better. But in this case, changing fuel from gasoline to propane, it's a simple switch. The infrastructure went in quickly, and with the relationships that have been forged through the grant, the backbone is there to support this technology long term, and we feel like we've made the right choice in reducing the cost of the city taxpayer. But propane is just one of many options the city's looking at in terms of alternative fuels. As new technologies are forged and they become an economic alternative, we're going to be there as soon as we can and do what we got to do to be there. It doesn't make sense to pay more to do any job that could be done at a lesser cost. So we're on top of reducing the cost wherever we can.